You're listening to the Personal Development Through Martial Arts podcast, the podcast where the world's highest personal development experts and martial arts masters come together to empower and inspire you to become your strongest self and live the life that you truly want. Join host Bogdan, Rosu, author, public speaker, and the founder of the first personal development through martial arts school in the world, in the podcast where you become the hero. We're here with Nick James, and we're going to be talking about building businesses, about mounting up, which is actually the title of his up-and-coming podcast. I hope I'm not spoiling anything, James.
Yeah, yep.
Awesome. So what I want to dive into in our discussion mostly is just like, what's the mindset behind, building a business and just building, a successful business, actually?
The mindset behind, that's a challenging question. The mindset is, that's unfortunately something that can't be taught, right? You can't really teach someone mindset and I guess you could teach someone discipline, but you really can't teach them the mindset to go out there and want to create their own business.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you do have that mindset, it is really easy to be able to create the type of business that you want to and live the lifestyle that you choose to live.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of people try to overcomplicate things, and they think that they need all this money to invest in a business in order to start. And so then they start hesitating and they put off and they procrastinate and they don't start. Whereas if they would just kind of do it, and as we say, mount up, like they would get a lot further. They would realize how, I'm not going to say, I don't want to say easy, because it's not easy. There's a lot of work involved, but yeah, they would realize how easy it is if they follow a process, if they have some steps in place that they could achieve what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, maybe it's probably simpler than most people think, right? It's not as complicated, but simple things are actually kind of hard sometimes, right? Some of the hardest things to do.
Sure, absolutely.
Cool. Nick, give us a bit of a background. When did you always have the business mindset, or was this something that you discovered later on in life?
Honestly, I've kind of always just had that drive, right? I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My entire side of my dad's family has owned businesses growing up my entire life. So I've just seen how businesses are structured. I've seen good ways to grow a business, bad ways to grow a business, and I've seen businesses fail. And so I've kind of always had that drive. But I too was at one point kind of afraid to take that leap. It's kind of a scary thing for some people, and it does take a right mindset to be able to enter into that space. But it's something that I've always had. I've been in digital marketing for over 12 years now. I've been in sales for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously 12 of those years were on the digital marketing side through social or Google AdWords, web development, things like that. And so I just decided earlier this year, actually, that it was time to take my knowledge, everything that I've gained over the last 20 years and 13 years in marketing, and start helping other companies grow.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with a startup for the last 4 or 5 years. And when we walked away from that relationship, I just decided now is the perfect time, the perfect opportunity. And so I jumped on it, and here I am.
That's awesome. So what is like the number one thing that you help your clients achieve?
So I work with business coaches and consultants, whether they're just starting out or they've reached a sticking point. And I also work with, oddly enough, other marketing agencies. A lot of marketing agencies are really good at doing a part of marketing, or whichever part of marketing it is that they provide for their clients. But sometimes they don't have the same processes in place for themselves, or they just don't know how to kind of get over the hump. And so what I work with clients to achieve is kind of that the ability to grow but remain sustainable and not take up all of their time. Because let's be honest, most of us don't get in business to, break our back and to, continue the blood, sweat, and tears, so to speak, year after year after year after year. Eventually, we want to have more time, more freedom, and things like that. And so that's what I work with my clients to achieve.
So basically, your clients get more time and freedom, and without sacrificing their income, right? And actually boosting their income. Awesome. So for most people listening right now, because most of my listeners are martial artists or people who are into personal development who want to have business of their own someday, right? And the market is basically flooded with the hustle mindset, the grind. What's your input on that?
It is a hustle. It is a grind. Without being too cliche, it totally is that. But I believe in building a team around you and to focus on your skill sets. Some people would argue that you need to become a master at all in order to run a business. I scrap that philosophy, throw it out the window. I believe in hiring on or outsourcing what you're not good at. It's going to make you more productive. It's going to make you enjoy what you're doing. And you're going to do more work. You're going to hustle more. You're going to enjoy the hustle, so to speak.
Yeah, 100%. And I noticed, Gary Vaynerchuk, he's like the spokesperson for hustle, like hashtag hustle, but he's doing the exact same thing, right? He has a team of people and he's doing his thing, which is speaking, right? Making, being filmed and just running his business, while other people handle other aspects of his business, which allow him to grow, right? So he's teaching the idea that, okay, you need to grind, you need to work, but on the flip side, he's also using all of these systems and that huge team, right, to build his brand.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's also like in martial arts, it's similar. Like the mindset that you get is everything depends on you, right? Because it's very singular. When you train in martial arts, that you get that mindset that, okay, I need to get things done, because without discipline, without hard work, I'm not gonna achieve what I want, right? And that's like the mentality that I personally got from karate, right? When I was training karate. However, the martial arts style that I teach today is very, very different, right? It focuses a lot more on being smart and using all of the, let's say, that the leverage that you already have, all of the gifts that you already possess, and using those in your favor without having to gain more work for other skills. So in that sense, I really, really like what you said, that you need to focus on your own skills, your own gifts, and delegate whatever else that you're not truly good at, right? Like an example would be, if your kicks are not that good, just use your punches, right? Where you have to,
absolutely,
right? Just punch somebody out, and that's fine, right? You said you had some experiences with self-defense on the hockey ring, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I played all my life, so I'm quite familiar.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, you're about to launch your podcast. What is the number one thing that you would like to share with the world through your podcast?
So we're going to be discussing sales, marketing, and then, just kind of financial development as well. And those are kind of the three aspects that I teach my clients as well. Like, how can we gain more revenue through sales and marketing, right? And I find that a lot of companies have this big gap between what marketing wants to do and what sales wants to do. And that's kind of my motto or slogan is bridging the gap between sales and marketing, right? It's important to make sure that your business, whether it's sales or marketing, they're both speaking the same language. And once you have that synergy, like the floodgates start opening, and you're going to see the sales process shortens, and you're closing more clients more frequently by doing that. So that's really the message that I'm trying to get across to people, and then also show them that, they can build this business, but more importantly, build a legacy that they too can then leave behind for the world, right? And so, yeah, that's why it's Mount Up Podcast, and kind of business beyond boundaries, right? And that's what we teach people. That's the message we want to get across, and that's the message I teach my clients too when working one-on-one with them.
Would you say that congruence is your legacy?
I'm sorry?
Would you say that congruence is your legacy?
I would say that's definitely a one way that we could put it for sure. Really, I want to just help other business owners be able to kick ass. Honestly,
I
like
like
there's
that.
no reason that we can't. Like I've always lived by the philosophy, like play hard or go home, right?
Mm-hmm.
You come from a martial arts background. You've had instructors or senseis, I'm sure, that have kind of told you similar things. When we were back on the ice, it's go home go hard or go home. Get off my ice if you're not going to participate. And so that discipline, kind of all throughout my life, has kind of helped me go there. And so that's where I want to go with my clients. I push them to new levels. I push them out of their comfort zone, so they can really position themselves and be dominant in their field.
Hey, sorry to interrupt the interview. I'll let you get back to it in a moment. Let me just ask you, do you want more financial freedom in your business so that you have time for the important things in your life? Would you like to level up your business and become a black belt in business success? Let me help you. I will personally take a look at your business and show you exactly how you can make it more profitable so that you enjoy more financial freedom and more time with your loved ones. Get in touch with me over social media. Links are in the description. Send me a message with the text Business Breakthrough and we will schedule an appointment and you will get a free coaching session where I teach you exactly how to make your business more profitable without putting in more hours. And this is going to be only for the first 5 people who get in touch with me this week. So check the description, get in touch with me on social media, send me a message with the text Business Breakthrough, and let me help you take your business to the next level. Definitely. One of the aspects that I work on with my clients for martial arts and for coaching is showing up 100%, right? Because like what happens, at least in martial arts, when you're sparring or when you're fighting, if you're holding back 20%, it's not that your performance is going to 80%, your performance drops to 20 or 30%. Mm-hmm. So like you said, you either show up 100% or don't, right? Because this is just going to drop. There's going to be this huge difference between the way that you perform and your results, right? So it's not really an option, especially when you're fighting or when you are building a business, when you're holding a meeting or interviewing people. Yeah, definitely.
That's a great way to put it, honestly. And sorry to kind of jump in here, but when I'm talking sales specifically with my clients, for example, you mentioned that by not bringing 100% and going down to 80% or going down by 20% doesn't necessarily mean you're going to 80 and you're going to be fine. You're going to drop to 20 or 30. Same with sales, same with marketing. If you're not feeding the pipeline, your business might not suffer today, but month 2, month 3, you're going to see sales drop dramatically, and it's not going to be just by 20%. You're gonna take some pretty hard hits, and so
That's not fun.
to avoid those ebbs and flows and roller coasters, you have to bring it 100% every time. So I can't agree with you more there.
That's awesome. So what do you feel like, what is usually the factor that holds people back in your opinion? Like why aren't people showing up 100%?
It's their own mental trash. So a lot of times it's their mindset, right? People have a hard time letting go of the past or letting go of, maybe times where they've gotten burnt and they're just kind of hesitant. They're afraid. It's like, karate again, you get kicked really hard by your opponent and it's like, ooh, I don't want to be aggressive towards him. You kind of want to go on the defensive, right? And I find that we do that in our mindset too. We kind of go on the defensive. We kind of turtle up and we shut down. And so it's really just about taking care of your mind, taking care of your mindset, and making sure that whatever it is that you have to do to recharge, you're constantly recharging so you can bring it when it's time to work.
Definitely, definitely. And I feel like a huge component is also the way that you train, right? If you train hard, then your performance is going to be much, much better. I had this funny experience a few weeks ago. There was this delegation from China, right? From the actually the birthplace of where our martial arts style comes from, right? And one of my students sparred with one of the teachers that came over, right, for the visit. And she did so well. She actually dominated, right? And my student was like, it actually wasn't worse than our training. And I said, yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like you're also, what you're doing in the background also counts tremendously for when you actually need to show up. How do you help your clients, do the work behind the scenes so they actually, when they do show up, it really matters, right? So it's so that they do show up fully.
So part of the thing that I teach them is to just try to make things easy, right? Try to come up with a systematic process that you can continue to repeat over and over. Regardless of what it is. Yes, you're going to have to go in and make edits and changes for different audiences, or maybe for different tasks that you're trying to complete. But just try to create a regimen that you're comfortable with, that you're used to, that you could constantly repeat. And then I guess as far as the mental toughness part, um, it's just making sure that they have a way of throwing away that head trash. Whatever that release may be, whether it's going out for a run, get that stuff done on the weekends. Make sure that you're recharged for, actually you should be recharging Friday, Saturday. That way Sunday, when maybe have a little bit of a recharge in the morning, you could start prepping for the week on Sunday evening. I mean, if you're not prepping for your week on Sunday evening, you're waiting until Monday, and then you're not going to see results, and you're not going to implement till Tuesday, and then everything's going to be delayed and prolonged. So I always tell them to be proactive, to make sure they're setting things up for the days coming. Always plan ahead. Don't plan at the beginning of the week and just start everything on Monday.
James, what is one way that you use to throw mental trash?
For me, I use music, and you'll even see on my Instagram, I'm like, if you don't like the mood, switch the track, man. Like, seriously, change the song. It's really, I mean, for me, this works. For some people, it might not. They might need to go hit a punching bag or something else, or go run or jog or do jumping jacks or whatever it is to relieve that stress, right? But that's really what it's all about, is getting rid of that stress the best you can. And for me, I find that music can really impact us emotionally, which helps change our mindset. If you don't like what's going on right now in your head, change it to a track that no matter what you do, it's either going to make you dance, get up, and be happy, or it's going to pump you up and make you ready for your day, right? And so I have a playlist that I listen to that, on come Monday morning, I'm listening to it and I'm going with it to get myself pumped up. And sometimes when my employees come in, they laugh at me because some of the tracks are kind of silly. It's like your Eye of the Tiger, your Karate Kid, you're the best, stuff like that. But hey, it works for me. And so I try to instill that in my employees and my clients as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, to me, like when I find a track that I like, I just listen to it until I get sick of it. So it's like, if I have to hear it again after that, it's like, oh my God, I cannot listen to this anymore. It's just like one of those things, right? Yeah. I don't know. For me, like talking about stuff is really, really helpful. Like when something bugs me, it really, really helps just to talk about it and let it out, especially with the people that are that specific topic has to do with, right? Sure. Yeah. So that's very helpful for me as well. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about the stuff that bugs them, or they just keep it in.
Yeah, people sometimes avoid confrontation. They maybe, I don't know, like they avoid confrontation or they avoid opening up even. People don't like being vulnerable, but I find the more vulnerable you are, the more you grow, the more you learn.
Yes.
Same with sales coaching clients. Like, hey, record your phone calls. I want to listen to them. Yes, you're vulnerable. You're going to have to hear me critique your phone call, but guess what? That's how we're going to learn together and progress.
Yes. 100%. And, one of my students wants to be a speaker, and what I share with him, I said, look, start doing live videos, but yeah, I'm afraid. Perfect. Talk about that. Talk about how scared you are to do this live video. It's going to be really, really good for you, right? And it's going to help people connect with you a lot more. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. So James, when are you launching the show? When can we listen?
I should be launching the show within the next couple weeks. I want to say it'll probably be, I'm probably going to hold off until like a January start date, mm-hmm. just to kind of push through the holidays here and build up the content and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm working on it now. We're building it now. We're building out all the content, having all the interviews, reaching out to people. So it's in the works. I'm just trying to do it right. And so I got to get all my ducks in a row.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So where can people find out about the show once it's launched?
Well, they'll be able to find out about it by following me on Instagram. I mean, I_Nicholas is my Instagram. And then also listomark.com is my website. So they'll be able to find out more information there. They'll be able to subscribe to the podcast there as well. And then we're also in the process of creating a page specifically for the podcast, and that'll be mountupnow.com. So, there's going to be several avenues that people can follow us. We won't be hard to find.
I was expecting something along the lines of Instagram / I'm Nick James, bitch. We're obviously referring to Dave Chappelle's sketches about Rick James, right? Go ahead and check those out. They're really, really funny stuff. Awesome. James, what would be one question that you have for our audience? Something for them to think about.
Really, you know what? I'll leave them. There's really three things that I want them to think about if they're trying to grow their business. Mm-hmm. And that's really kind of going back to like the three most important W's. I posted this just last week, and that's like who are you trying to attract? Always think of that. What is it that you're trying to help them achieve? And then your why, right? And if you can kind of define those, you'll be able to, to find your audience. You'll be able to speak to your audience, and it'll really help you when trying to grow your business and attracting the right people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And some people are thinking like, who do I want to attract? Of course, I want to attract Sally from The Office. Why? Because I want to get married. What? No. Right. You're talking about your audience.
Yeah. It's a little bit different than that, right? We got to really get a clear defining of like, not just anybody, right? Like, who is that person specifically that we're wanting to attract? Create that avatar in your mind.
I love that.
Once you have that avatar, what is it that you find that they all have in common, or what is this common thing that you're trying to help them fix and find that? So that's why, like for me, the who, the what, and the why are probably the biggest challenges that I find a lot of businesses have. Believe it or not, it's not easy. Simple, but they don't.
It's not easy. It's just like deciding on one person to serve, and especially with coaches, because you have this feeling that you can help everybody. But truth of the matter is that you're not going to be able to help everybody, and you shouldn't be helping everybody. So it's difficult to achieve, and to master, and that's like the most important aspect. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know Frank Kern?
I'm familiar with Frank Kern. Yes.
Great. Yeah, he's got this crazy story of when he created his perfect client, his avatar. You think the avatar's name was George, right? And he just got very, very detailed about George's life. They got like, he's working at the office. He'd like to have like an online business and so on and so forth. And a few years later, he was holding a conference, and then one guy walks up to him after the conference, and he's like, "Hi, I'm George."
That's great.
It's exact specific person that he was thinking of. Yeah. Crazy stuff.
Hilarious. Yeah, and so like obviously you don't have to give it a name, right? But it is important to be that clear on who it is you're trying to attract, because whether that guy's name was George or Sam or whatever, if that story resonates with them, they're going to raise their hand and they're going to be like, I'm George, I'm that guy, right?
Yes, 100%. Awesome. Nick, thank you so much for your time and contribution. Absolutely. Guys, let us know who are you trying to attract, why, and what are you going to help them do. achieve.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate your time as well.
No problem. It was a pleasure. Hey, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. And if you're ready for more financial freedom, for more time to spend with your loved ones or doing what you're really passionate about, send me a message over social media, connect with me, links are in the description, and I will give you a free business breakthrough session where I will show you exactly how you can make your business more profitable so that you live a happy and fulfilled life with your loved ones. I'll see you soon.